The letter arrived exactly 1 hour before I walked down the aisle. It wasn't a card of congratulations. It was a cold, white envelope containing a check for exactly $1 and a note that read, "Since you chose a life of poverty, here's your first installment. Don't ever call us again." My parents, Richard and Eleanor, are what people call old money. They believe that your bank account defines your soul. When I brought Sarah home for Thanksgiving 3 years ago, the silence was deafening. Sarah was wearing a dress she bought on sale, and she mentioned she worked as a barista while finishing her degree. My mother didn't even offer her tea. My father didn't look up from his newspaper. Later that night, my dad pulled me into his study. He offered me a choice: dump the coffee girl and marry the daughter of his business partner, or lose everything. My trust fund, my car, my position at the firm, all gone. I thought he was bluffing. I was wrong. 2 days after I chose Sarah, my credit cards were declined at a grocery store. When I tried to go home, my keys didn't fit the lock. My own parents had erased me from their lives. For the next 3 years, Sarah and I lived in a world my parents couldn't even imagine. I traded my tailored suits for a construction vest, working double shifts just to pay for a tiny studio apartment where the heater barely worked. My mother sent family friends to check on me, but only so they could report back and laugh at how low I had fallen. They called Sarah a gold digger who had failed to find any gold. They had no idea that while I was sweating on a construction site, Sarah was quietly finishing her master's degree and preparing to take over a legacy that made my father's fortune look like pocket change. For 3 years, my parents thought they had won. They lived in their mansion, celebrating their pride, while I was counting pennies for bus fare. But while they were busy mocking my life, their own world was quietly crumbling. My father's firm, the pride of the family, was hit by a massive financial crisis. Bad investments and a changing market had left them on the brink of total bankruptcy. They needed a miracle, or they would lose everything: the house, the cars, and the old money reputation they loved more than their own son. There was only one investment firm in the country big enough to save them. It was a massive, mysterious conglomerate that rarely took on private clients. My father spent weeks begging for a meeting, using every connection he had left. Finally, they agreed. He told my mother, "This is it, Eleanor. Once we sign this deal, we can finally forget that our son ever existed." Little did they know, they were about to walk into a room where the coffee girl held all the power. The morning of the meeting, my father put on his last tailored suit. He looked older, tired, but still arrogant. He thought he was walking into a room full of old men in gray suits. But when the massive oak doors of the boardroom opened, the silence was even colder than the day he kicked me out. At the head of the long marble table sat a woman in a sharp navy suit. She didn't look up from the documents for a long time. My mother gasped so loud it echoed. My father froze. It was Sarah, but she wasn't the barista they remembered. She was Sarah Sterling, the sole heir to the Sterling Global Group. My father's voice trembled as he spoke. "Sarah? What is this? Some kind of joke?" Sarah slowly looked up, her eyes like ice. She didn't offer them a seat. She didn't even offer them a glass of water. She just pushed a single, thin piece of paper across the table. It was the same $1 check they had sent us on our wedding day. The silence in the room was deafening. My father looked at the $1 check as if it were a bomb. "Sarah, please," he stammered. "We didn't know. We thought we were protecting Jack. We just wanted him to marry someone. Equal." Sarah didn't even blink. "Equal," she whispered. "You judged me by the uniform I wore, but you never looked at the person inside it. Jack loved me when he thought I had nothing. He walked away from your millions to protect me. And now, you want me to save you with mine?" She stood up, looking taller than ever in that massive office. "The deal is off. My board doesn't invest in toxic legacies. And honestly, Richard, neither do I. My parents' firm went under within a month. The mansion, the cars, the old money prestige, it all vanished in a wave of debt. Today, Jack and I live in a house filled with love, not gold. As for my parents, we pay for their small 2-bedroom apartment. It's not much, but as my mother once told me, they chose a life of poverty, and we're just helping them enjoy their first installment. Subscribe for more family dramas and tell me in the comments, would you have saved them or let them fall?